Hey everybody, I'm TecToss and welcome to the start of a new series and a new game. And it's Hearts of Iron 3, as you probably could have taken from the thumbnail and the title of the video, but you know, I gotta say something in my introduction, right? So here we go, it's Hearts of Iron 3, and those of you who tuned into this video expecting expert gameplay and learning about refined strategies and how to tech most efficiently and all that, I probably might want to close the video right now, because I'm not really an expert at the game. I picked it up just as it came out, and that was a big mistake, because the game wasn't quite ready yet, quite finished. The supply system didn't work, there were loads of bugs, the performance was horrible, so you could play for a while and then it would just drop down in terms of performance after, I don't know, 3 or 4 years of in-game time. And so over the course of all those bugs, I kind of lost interest in the game, and I'm just now picking it up in anticipation of Hearts of Iron 4, which is scheduled to come out this year. It's supposed to be out already, but you know, Paradox games, they release when it's done, and it's a good thing. But I want to get in the mood, I want to get back into the general mindset of Hearts of Iron, because I love the concept of the game. I think this game is the purest grand strategy that's really out there, because you have the empire management component in it, but you have a very, very complex and in-depth combat and army system, which includes naval and aerial warfare, which I can't really think of a game that has it in that detail that Hearts of Iron has it. So, without further ado, we gotta pick a race, oh god, I'm playing too much Endless Legend, of course we gotta pick a country. As you can see, we got the world map around the time of 1936 to our choosing, and you can basically pick any country. Sorry. I could play as Tibet, you know, that's possible. I could play as Nepal or the single Chinese province of Bhutan. Might be a bit boring though, because you'll just sit there and basically watch the time go by. They can't do anything in a game like this. So I'm gonna stick with these superpowers. I consider the US, it's just, I don't know, it's just too easy to play them. They have so much production and so much money and armies at their disposal, and they can just choose when to enter the war. So yeah, that's a bit boring, right? You want to see me struggle, I know you want to. Same goes for Germany. Of course, it's the natural pick, and basically you're meant to play Germany when you play this game the first time, because they are who actually started that horrible era in our time, that's the World War II. But I really want to play a nation that is a little bit of an underdog, and that forces me into some hard decisions. And I'm not quite as advanced that I'm gonna pick France, but I'm gonna pick Italy. They're very interesting for a couple of reasons. One, they're not as strong as the other superpowers. Like they're not comparable to Germany or even the United Kingdom. Certainly not comparable to Japan or the US. They just don't have the production and the standing military as these huge, strong nations have. But they're strong. Don't get me wrong. They're not a weak nation at all. They got a little foothold in Africa. Up here and down there in Ethiopia, which we don't really have conquered quite yet. As you can see, Ethiopia still exists, but we're in the process of wagering war on them, and that is one of the second interesting point, that Italy starts the game at war with Ethiopia, and so you get a couple of bonuses from that. Also, they have they basically are meant to own the Mediterranean. So you can see that. They got the largest coastline in the Mediterranean. And we're going to be contesting for that with the United Kingdom, who have, of course, the better fleet, but they have a little bit of a trouble in terms of finding harbors to replenish their fleets and to actually supply their fleets. Also, we're going to have air superiority, because either the British transfer their aircraft into the African airports, or they just gonna get destroyed. And yeah, that makes for a couple of very interesting possible strategies. But Italy, and I'm gonna start the game right now, because yeah, it's gonna take a little time to load. But Italy is really, they can't have it all, basically. As Germany, you can just, if we take a look at the technology screen, can you see how many techs there are? Just overwhelming, Jesus. And as Germany, you can basically just tech in infantry, you can tech in the armor department, you got a better start in that as well. You can tech your ships, fighters, you can just get it all, basically. Italy can't. Italy has to make tough choices, and I love when games do that. I love it. That really makes games a lot more fun if you just can't, yeah, just can't have a grand strategy fantasy, but you really have to pick the right areas where you want to focus on and have that come together in a sense that, and yeah, make it work. So I love it when games do that. Now I'm gonna switch into political map mode. As you can see here, now we can see all the nations. There's our green is us, and Germany in gray up here, Austria, Switzerland. Well, actually, who are you? Czechoslovakia. Right, so, and with Italy, there's a couple of tasks that we gotta start on right away. For one, Italy needs more production. Like we start out with a lot of IC at our disposal, but that's just because we are at war. We don't actually have that many factories, and that is something that needs to be dealt with right away if we want to become like a force to be reckoned with. Because at the start of the game we're, you know, okay, we got enough to defend our borders, we can start invasion of Yugoslavia and whatnot, but the more the game progresses, the more our lack of industry and production capability is going to come and bite us in the ass. So we really need to get started on that. And that's my first area of focus. So let's get a couple of these industrial thingies. Maybe get 4. I think this is good. It's a little bit of a compromise. And we need to make a little compromise. So with Italy, we got a couple of areas to focus on. For one, we need production. And we need the tech for that, so we need to start on that early. Second, we need to give our navy a focus and stick with it, and actually expand the navy. And third, we need to do the same for our Air Force, which for now is pretty great compared to the other naval powers, the other superpowers. But we need to keep it that way, and we need to find an area to focus on, because again, we can't have it all. So those are the 3 areas, and of course we need to supplement our infantry, because that is one of the big weak points of Italy. If we take the army organization and we go down here on the core level, then you can see they only have 2 divisions in there. 2 here, 2 here, and it goes like that for all the corps, and that doesn't make sense at all. We need those corps to be fully staffed, and to make use of the commander bonus as much as possible, because that's another weakness of Italy. We have not that many great commanders. If we take a look at that and compare that to, actually let's see, we got 1 commander with skill 2, and that is basically it. A lot of those have skill 0. We don't even have many commanders, so yeah, that is a problematic area for Italy, and thus we need to make use of the bonus they give us even more, and that isn't happening if we spread out our forces like that. So they need reorganization, and they most of all need reinforcements. So what we're gonna do is just produce a couple of infantry on their own. Now usually you would go ahead and just produce, oh god, even their presets are like that, just 2. That is very interesting, I gotta say. Usually you would go ahead and just produce a division like that, but we won't do that. We'll just do the brigade attachments, and we'll just go with regular infantry for now and get a couple of those going. I don't know, maybe like in blocks of 5 looks good. I could count it, but I don't think that's necessary. Let's just start production like that. Okay, so we got that covered. Now we also need to supplement our navy, and we need to choose a focus. Now, I got a strategy in mind, but don't scream at the monitor. It might not be the optimal one, but that's the one I'm gonna try out. And if I fail, that's just part of the fun in a Paradox game, because you can just sandbox, you can do what you want and see if it works. And we're gonna do just that. Did I warn you that I'm not an expert? Yeah, I did. You were fully informed if you're in here 10 minutes into the video. Well, you got no one else to blame but yourself. So here we go. My naval focus is gonna be on aircraft carriers. I know, just hear me out. Italy starts with one strong navy. Just one, this, Regina Marina. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. If any of you can speak Italian or are Italian, you might want to give me some tips on how to pronounce these names, because I'm gonna butcher them probably horribly, but that's okay. I just announced that. It's okay. Nobody minds, right? And maybe somebody's already working on paying me back. Anyway, so this is the pride of the Italian Navy, and that's a pretty strong fleet. They got a couple of battleships in here. There's a lot of destroyers in there, and Italy already starts with decent battleship tech. The problem, though, these battleships just lose horribly to aircraft carriers, because the aircraft carriers have a better range. And there's nothing to remedy the situation. Like, you have to get close into the aircraft carriers, but you can't do that when they have screens, like destroyers or ideally light cruisers. So this army, while it's strong right now, it won't be strong in the future. And I want to make Italy a superpower, and I want to make it a lasting one. So we need to be concerned what will work around 1940, 1941, in that time frame. And also, even though this navy is strong, it's gonna get wiped out by the British, basically. There's no nice way to put it. They just have a stronger navy than we have it. So we can only use that to kind of sting the British Navy, but we cannot take them on head on. And even if we devote all of our production and just try and get a battleship and a destroyer combination and get another one of these fleets working, it probably still won't be enough to beat the British, just with what they have when they start the game and the vast ability to increase their to tech their fleets better. So my logic here is we're gonna initially fill up the ranks of the fleet with a couple more battleships. For one, to get the practical knowledge of naval up a little bit. That will allow us to produce the navy in the future a little more efficient, a little faster. And secondly, we're going to be a little more durable against the British. And in the meantime, don't use our tech on the battleships, because the battleship is a very tricky animal. If we take a look at the capital ship here, and the battleship construction. Right now we're all up to 1936 level of tech. Now the problem with those techs is, if we research them, they won't get... like, the battleships can't be upgraded. And the battleships take a long time to build. So we basically would have to not build battleships now, tech up these three areas, and then actually have those guys produced later. And I don't know that we get them in time. Like, you have to time it perfectly to actually make use of the battleship techs. And that's just... I'm not confident that I can do that. What we can do, though, is because the aircraft carriers, as you can see, are not even developed yet, that is a little easier. We can just, you know, get the aircraft carriers, bring them up to date, and then start the production. And they take some time to build, yeah, but once we have them, they will give us a lot of versatility, which the battleships kind of don't, because we can't really upgrade them. While on the aircraft carriers, we can at least upgrade the planes, and the carriers themselves don't need to be that high tech. It's enough that they exist and that they can carry the aircraft. And also, what plays into our hands is if we want to focus in the Mediterranean, like this part of the sea here, that is closed off by Gibraltar, which we are eventually going to take, which we eventually need to take, is that we can assist our aircraft carriers with the airplanes from the little islands that we got around here. So I think that should work out nicely. And we're gonna have a air force that could also assist on the borders here, which I just wanna keep control of the Mediterranean, to deny the British their supply in Africa, and to also have the possibility to trade with Persia, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia, and Oman and Yemen and all those rich oil producing countries, because I don't want to have my ships run over here to Venezuela, where there's another good source of oil, but it's a long way, and there's some US fleets who might have a word or two to say about me shipping oil out of Venezuela. So I don't want to do that. I want to be more independent, and in that sense I want to have control over the Mediterranean, and for that, long story short, we do need aircraft carriers in my opinion. But we're going to start out with producing a couple of battle ships, just because it's the strongest ship we have right now, and they take a lot of time to produce, so we're maybe just going to get, I don't know, maybe 3, like so. 41 months, yeah, that's a lot of... But this here, like I want to have 3 or 4 additional battleships. And this here is 31, I see. That's a little much, actually. We'll start with 3, and I think I'll think about getting more. But for now, 3 battleships should be good. I'm gonna cancel the submarine there, because we really don't need those. Yeah, really don't need those guys. While you can just go through. And we also need a couple more convoys. We currently have 30. It's not that much, so let's just get 2 more and get a couple of screens for them. Like maybe 4 to start it off with. Wait. Oh, we got 40? Okay. Maybe you don't need that much. You just need 2, like so. Just, you know, we also get practical skill in those areas. So the more convoys we produce, the faster it's going to get produced in the future. And we do want to start producing them kind of early. Now, how we're looking so far. Just going to meet that. Consumer goods, just get a little extra. There we go. It used to be that consumer goods would net you just cash, so we could overproduce and get cash, but it's not like that anymore. We're gonna overproduce supplies a little bit because we need something to export, and for us that's gonna be supplies, so we'll just produce a little more than we need. Maybe up to 17, somewhere around there. There we go. I'm usually a stickler for round numbers, but with these controllers, it's... yeah. It won't be fun to watch me try and hit 17.0, so I'm just not gonna do that. Reinforcements not needed just yet. Oh, Jesus, I forgot to. No, can't get it. Can't get it. Come on now. Get it down to 17. Whatever, okay. You gotta lock these sliders, so right-clicking there and locking it here as well. Now we can bring down the reinforcements. Don't need any right now. I'm gonna always keep... because the game will... like, I wanna just keep 0.5 maybe, around that. No, you won't let me adjust that. Yeah, be like that, game. Be like that. What's wrong with it? I want to have 0.5. Okay, that's close enough. There we go. lock it there. Because you're eventually gonna need a little bit of reinforcement, and it's just a hassle to always put the slider back and forth and back and forth. So I'm not gonna do that. Now I'll try and meet the production needs, and so all that stuff can get finished in time. And we won't be upgrading as fast as we could. Well, that's just the way it is. And, for now that's good. Get a little less production, I guess, of supplies. Maybe like so is good. Because we do want... What do we have now? We got a couple infantry, we got the industry. And I also want to start on aircraft production. I know it's early, but I want to build up this aircraft practical right away. And like I said, we want to have aircraft carriers, so might be a good idea to have the carrier air group with them as well, right? So let's do that. Just get one is enough. Good, that's my production setup for now. Yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Okay, in terms of technology, oh man, I think that's gonna be... What do we have to cover? Politics is pretty straightforward. We don't really have better ministers that we can use. Yeah, pretty much the best of those are already in effect. Armament Minister will give us plus 10% IC. And that is just probably the... Like, it's an easy bonus to understand, and it's... I don't see anything better. Leadership modifier, we desperately need that, because Italy will be starved for leadership. And we don't have any other choice, so that's as well. And the head of intelligence will give us industrial intel, plus 20%. I might go with the overall espionage bonus, but not sure. I think we're fine like that. I want to eventually have the advanced training, but for now we can't get it. We need more... Yeah, we need more approval for that. Well, there's really not much we can do here. Propaganda press, that's just fine. Mixed industry is fine. Eventually we're gonna go for the heavy industry, but for now it's just fine. Education investment, sure. We're gonna get more leadership, less money, that is okay. I maybe want to switch back to the large education investment, but war economy is just great. 3-year draft is great as well. And yeah, there's not much to do here. In terms of intelligence, I need to, like, why do I need spies in Germany? I really don't. I want to put most of it on counter-espionage, but probably gonna set that off screen. Well, we could just go ahead and do that now. Sort those guys by priority. We're not gonna do much in terms of 6 spies in Ethiopia, really? I don't. Let's increase that. Domestic spies. That is good. And support of the ruling party. I'm not really sure. Do need that. What is our support level? 46 organization. Where can I see that? Popularity, here we go. Won't really hurt. Yeah, support that. And I won't do much espionage at all. Like, most of my leadership will go into technology and officers. So let's set up that. Let's just bring it all down to 0 so we can... Okay, so we got 16 available. And maybe I want to have like 14 for my techs. That is good. And we also need some... We'll need some basic... There we go. 0.01 spies is just fine for me. But what we do need is a lot of diplomacy to start with. So maybe we'll just go down to 13 here. There we go. We only have 17 diplomatic influence, and that is just not too great. Need a little more than that. Maybe like so is good. And build up our officer ratio a lot more than that. I want to be at 150 maybe. We'll see how that goes. And we'll see if 13 techs will suffice, but I kind of have to. I don't know. Good. I'm gonna spare you the diplomacy. What I usually do when I play this game is I want to have more efficient laws. Specialist training. Really? Yeah. I don't have the capital to do that. What I usually do is do the trading manually, because I want to pick where my trade routes are going. And I also hate the fact that you have like 50 little, like if you go to the production screen here, you have like 50 little convoys running around there, and I just hate that. So I rather buy in larger amounts. And but that comes a little later. For a start, you need to, or I think the way to do it is to actually get a couple of small trades going to increase your diplomatic standing with a certain country. And once you got that, then you go for the larger trades, because they're going to be more favorable. And I don't know if the AI will do that well, so I tend to do that myself. Because from what I watch on the Let's Plays on YouTube from Hearts of Iron, usually if you automate trade, you're going to be resource starved at one point in the game, pretty severely. And from my own experience playing as Japan, I didn't have that problem, even though Japan is really resource starved to start with. So I'm going to do that on my own, but I'm going to do it off screen, obviously, because that's not fun to watch, I don't think. I have to sift through here and see which countries produce what, which countries need what, which will make sense to trade with and whatnot. Yeah, I'm gonna spare you that. Also, we need to set up the tech, but that is something that's probably interesting to you, so I'll just maybe set it up off screen and walk you through it, or we're gonna do it together in the next episode. But I want to end the episode right now. I explained you the basic strategy that Oh, I didn't yet do that, right? Yeah, I want to seize control of the Mediterranean, and to do that, I need Yugoslavia and Greece under my control, and that's my first focus. Launch an attack on those two. Also, we want to eventually get Romania and Hungary, maybe Hungary. I'm pretty sure I want Romania, at least as a puppet, and the same goes for Turkey. Definitely want to have Turkey as a puppet. I don't want to manage this area. Just too much of a bother. And so that's going to be my immediate goals. Take all of Yugoslavia and Bulgaria down here, and Greece, of course. So we can have the islands and we can have the coastline up here under control, and then take Romania, puppet it, and aid the Germans in the war against Russia. That is our main role, I think. France, probably they'll deal with that just fine on their own, and we can't get any territory in here, I don't think. So we'll just not get involved with that very much. I'll just have my troops stationed here, and that's gonna be the end of it. What I will be involved in is the war for Russia and for Africa. That definitely is going to be where we have our business. And eventually, I haven't yet made up my mind, like, we either expand down here and secure the borders against the oil-producing countries, Iraq, Persia, Saudi Arabia, so we're completely independent from any external supplies, or we go ahead and invade the United Kingdom, which is a really fun task. We could also go for Spain. One of those I think we'll go for. It also depends a little bit on how Germany will start the war. Anyway, that does it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, there's a little like button under there. Just click that, and it's the start of the series, so it's kind of helpful if you show a little extra love for the first episode. But if you don't, that's fine as well. Just enjoy the episodes as they keep coming, and have a great day. See you around for the next episode. Until then, goodbye.